Welcome to another Big Daddy D adventure. Today we got a shop project adventure. We're going to build a bead breaker and then see if I can get these tires off the rims. I've had a couple of these tires that I need to make into some stands, and well, I finally got around to doing something about it. The first part I'm making here is I have to notch the end of that tubing. I plan on welding a little flat plate that's bent to go along the rim that pushes down on the rim. So I'm just notching out the end of this 1-inch square tubing here so I can fit the flat plate into it. All right, the next part I'm working on is I'm going to slot out that 1.5 inch upright so I can fit that 1x2 handle into it. So here I'm just slotting the tube on both sides so I can fit it in there. Since I'm not really working on any kind of dimension drawing, I'm just trying to put the parts together here and make some marks to see where I need to cut the other piece, and then get ready to do some welding and drilling. Now that I've taken those measurements, I can go ahead and cut this vertical bar to length, and then I'm going to go ahead and slot it. That way I'll be able to bolt it to that handle, and then I think that'll work out better rather than having to weld an extra couple of plates. So now that I've got the slot formed, what I'm going to do is just clean it up a little bit, and then I'll be able to just kind of hammer it around that handle, and then that way it'll fit real tight around the handle, and I'll be ready to drill and bolt it. Here I decided to go ahead and match drill that little drop piece that's going to be pushing against the tire to the handle. That way it's I didn't have to worry about lining everything up. It fit pretty good. The last piece of assembly to do was to bolt the vertical to the base and then mount the arm on the handle. Do one last test fit, and then I should be able to weld that little tire bracket to the vertical on the handle. Here I was able to bust out my little Amico 160D arc welder. It's a little inverter welder, and go ahead and I'm tacking that blade onto the end of that drop arm, and then moved it around to a little bit better position to go ahead and do the final weld. So looks pretty good. Now that we got it built, let's go ahead and see if we can get it to work. First thing I did is I sprayed it with a little WD-40, and I think I lucked out here. That side was pretty easy to bust, but this back side I had a little bit more difficulty. Had to get an extra bar to help with some leverage to keep that blade up against the rim. But hey, you know what? Bead breaker worked out great on these full-size truck tires. Well, I guess breaking the bead on the tire is only the first part. Now I've got to use my tire irons to see if I can go ahead and get it off the rim. First thing what I'm doing is you got to start from the front of the tire, not the back of the tire, because there's a little extra gap there. I was able to bust it off the front, and then I got one bar stuck into the back, and then all I'm doing here is just kind of working those tire irons in, and then working it around the back. And sooner or later it should pop out. Since I had another rim that I need to go ahead and take the tire off, I went ahead and showed the second tire, see if it went any faster than the first tire. The back came off pretty easy. I just broke the bead in one place and then used that tire on to break it the rest of the way around. Front came off real easy again. Since I also had some small tires and rims, I wanted to go ahead and see if it would work on the small ones. And it sure did a good job on those too. Some of these rims were a little rusty, so it did take a little bit extra. I went ahead and had to, hit it in a couple spots before it would work. But, tool works good. I think it's a success. Well, thanks for coming on another workshop project adventures with me today. I enjoyed taking you with me as I built a DIY tire bead breaker and how I used it and some tire irons to separate some tires from some rims. I hope you enjoyed coming along this project adventure with me, and hopefully you learned something along the way. As usual, if you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to go on more project adventures with me, hit the subscribe button. Until next time, as always, take care. Bye-bye.